On a cold winter night, a hot GMC Red Division matchup tonight as East Brunswick gets set to host Old Bridge. I'm Pete Haskell alongside Jimmy Allinder, and the Bears off to a solid start this season. Jimmy, 5-0 and playing some good ball.
They absolutely have. As a matter of fact, they won the tournament, the Hillside tournament, beating a Lincoln team from Jersey City in overtime. And they're coming in this game, as you mentioned, 5-0 with some good experience, not the least of which is Matt Van Leeuwen, number 23, leading the county, I believe, with a 23-point scoring average. He's a deadly three-point shooter. But the thing about East Brunswick, Pete, is that they have a lot of good experience coming back. Jim Kolakowski, Richie Whalen, Ben Kartzman. Those are 4 returning starters, and they have some good height in John Rotter and Tom Martin. This could be one of the best teams in the county this year.
Interesting to see how well Old Bridge can handle East Brunswick. The Knights have played very well themselves this year, coming in at 3-1. The lone loss of this year, a real heartbreaker in double OT to Piscataway, one of the top teams in the state.
Absolutely, and it was a tough game. They had that game, Pete, won with 1 second left with a 3-point lead, and Darryl Claps, the good player for Piscataway, was able to launch a shot that Old Bridge fouled him. And he sank 3 points to send the game into into overtime. They went to another overtime and just lost it. And that's the only loss on the schedule, but they have beaten a very good West Windsor-Plainsboro team. So they have a lot of ammunition, Old Bridge does.
And Old Bridge coming in on a 3-game winning streak. The person to watch for Old Bridge is Pete Marston, who is averaging 18.5 points a game. He's the point guard, likes to shoot the basketball. It'll be interesting to see what Old Bridge does to match up against Matt Van Leeuwen. Should be a good ball game. We'll have the opening tip coming right up. East Brunswick Bears getting set to open up this game against Old Bridge. Again, the East Brunswick at 5-0 and the Knights of Old Bridge at 3-1. And it'll be an interesting contest. Two teams playing some good basketball, and East Brunswick will try to push the ball. Old Bridge will try to show some patience and slow it down. So this is really a game of contrasting styles.
It really is a game of styles, contrasting styles. What you have to watch for, I think we didn't mention it up on top, but Old Bridge does have a player inside by the name of Chris Zalski. This is a 6'6" pivot man who has been sick off and on the last couple of years, but he's finally got his act together. He's gained about 25 pounds, and you're going to watch him. He's going to be pretty strong off the boards. I don't know if East Brunswick has anybody that can really quite match up with him.
So it'll be East Brunswick sending John Rotter in the tip against Chris Zalski. John Rotter, Brad Caruso, Jim Kolakowski, Rich Whalen, and Matt Van Leeuwen for East Brunswick. For the Knights, Zalski, Justin Daly, Glenn Pando, Ryan Brown, and Pete Marston. And East Brunswick controls and will try to set things up. That's Van Leeuwen. Keep an eye on him. Whalen up top, and it's a man defense for Old Bridge. Knights will play a lot of man defense. Rotter tries to knock it down low, and it's tipped away by Daly, who drops it off for Marston into the front court. Knights with their first possession of the game. Left side for Daly. Daly high overhead, down low for the big guy. Zalski manages to control, goes up strong off glass and is good. So Chris Zalski showing he's a strong inside presence. East Brunswick trying to push Caruso right side, and they'll work the ball around.
Try to get it to Van Leeuwen if they can.
Nice move inside. Zalski blocks the shot taken by Rotter. And you mentioned Zalski right off the bat and on both ends of the court showing his presence. East Brunswick will inbound from its own baseline just underway. Knights leading East Brunswick 2-0.
Well, they tried to get inside both times, but I think they're going to have more success shooting outside.
Van Leeuwen drops it off for Whalen. He'll launch from 3, no good. Ball batted around. Knights come down with it. It's Ryan Brown and hands off to Pete Marston. Marston to Pando. Back to Marston. He's watched by Whalen.
Pando with 18 three-point shots this year, Pete.
He is a guy to watch, and Van Leeuwen for East Brunswick can nail it from the outside as well. That's Marston against Whalen. Marston is matched defensively against against Van Leeuwen, and Whalen is matching him on the other side. That's Marston again. Old Bridge trying to show some patience, look for the good shot, work the ball around. East Brunswick in the man defense. Brown gets the baseline, and somehow he got in low and made the easy layup. So Old Bridge with a 4-0 lead early on EB.
Try to push it inside again.
And that time they did it successfully. John Rotter with his first bucket of the game. Bears are on the board, and now some full court pressure. East Brunswick likes to do a lot of that. Man pressure again, and trying to put some pressure. Old Bridge better get it in the front court in a hurry. And they get it in there. Brown has the ball knocked away from him, but recovers. He is doubled up in the corner.
Almost a turnover there.
Almost a turnover. Nice play by Rotter, Kolakowski to tip it away. Daly, long range three, no good, and the rebound comes to Kolakowski. Van Leeuwen spots up, long range two, around and out. And the rebound is tipped out of bounds. And they say it was last touched by Kolakowski. And Old Bridge takes over, leading 4-2, 5.5 to play first period.
It was really the first time Van Leeuwen had a chance at the ball. He's going to have to see it more often for East Brunswick.
And Marston is going to make him work for it. That's Marston with the ball for Old Bridge. Off to Daly, back to Marston. Marston spinning it again. A very patient motion offense run by Old Bridge. They want to reduce the number of possessions in the game. That's Brown. Brown looking for some help, but some strong East Brunswick defense slows him up. Pando has the ball. Pando working against Van Leeuwen, spinning, gets a screen, up with a hand, right hand, no good. Ball batted around, still free out of bounds. And East Brunswick will take over. First substitution of the game.
This is Kartzman. Ben Kartzman.
Ben Kartzman checks in for East Brunswick.
It's a very athletic team for East Brunswick. Kartzman was the starting goaltender on the successful Bear GMC team. Very athletic, good outside shot.
Well and into the front court. Right side for Kartzman. Up top, Van Leeuwen. Left side, Wellen. East Brunswick working the ball around the perimeter. Rotter from three, all net.
And you really don't expect that from John Rotter. He likes to play underneath, so that's a bonus for the Bears.
So for Rotter, that is his first three-point field goal of the season. Pando off to Zalski. Zalski brings it inside. Nice hesitation, can't get the bucket. And Kartzman comes over the top on Zalski. And Kartzman picks up his first foul, the first team foul for East Brunswick. And first substitution of the game for Old Bridge as Greg Shaw checks in. And he replaces Chris Zalski. Rocky Knowles, the coach of Old Bridge, wanting a word with Zalski. And based on Knowles' expression, it is not a happy word. Long-range jumper, Marston, no good. And the rebound comes down to Kolakowski. Kolakowski pushing it up court. Kartzman back to Kolakowski from 15, all net.
Wow. He did it all that time.
So Kolakowski got the board, pushed it down court, and ended up with a bucket. East Brunswick leads 7-4 midway through this first period. That's Pando from three. No good. Kartzman with a board. And Kartzman quickly fouled by Greg Shaw. That is his first personal and the first team foul for Old Bridge. So one team foul apiece, 3:49 to go in this first period. East Brunswick with a 7-4 edge. Bears will inbound after the foul. And East Brunswick not having the opportunity to press that much because Old Bridge has missed an awful lot of shots in the early going. Van Leeuwen for Kartzman, left side, watched by Brown. Right back up top, Van Leeuwen will direct traffic. Takes and plays off the screen, launches high off the top, and that ball fell next to the basket. It looked like it might have gone in, but it was next to the basket. It did move that net, but from the outside, not the inside.
So Van Leeuwen 0 for 2 on both of these shots.
Pando called the set play, but it seemed to break down, and Van Leeuwen tips the ball away. Old Bridge will maintain possession, and Chris Zalski, after that word from head coach Rocky Knowles, checks back in the game, and he'll step in for Justin Daly. So Zalski will inbound side court. Watched by Rotter. In for Shaw. Gets off now from Marston. Watched by Wellen. Zalski out high. They want to get him near the basket. Pando. Pando working against Van Leeuwen. Marston for Zalski. Nice give and go. Excellent defense as it's knocked away by Van Leeuwen, and this is going to be a jump ball.
Possession arrow to who?
Possession arrow goes to Old Bridge.
All right, East Brunswick really playing a nice brand of defense. They were a little shaky there with Old Bridge starting out 4-0. We got a substitution here. Number 50, I believe, is coming in. For East Brunswick, that would be Dave Vangerud, another soccer player, Pete.
A lot of 2 and 3 sport athletes on this East Brunswick team.
Sounds like they got Richie Whalen on a push.
So for Whalen, that is his first personal, second team foul on East Brunswick, and Brian will trigger from underneath his own basket. 2:50 to play, first period. East Brunswick with a 7-4 lead over Old Bridge. Brown gets it in for Pando, who can't hold on, goes between Whelan's legs, and a free-for-all, a scrum.
What's he calling here?
Called timeout, so East Brunswick calling a timeout. Whelan at the bottom of the pile, and that scrum reached down low and decided to take the timeout rather than lose possession. 2:45 to play in this first period. East Brunswick leading Old Bridge 7-4. Let's take a listen.
You hear that high call. What are they going to do with their postmen? Flash them high, try and get a back door out of it, right? We got to just take more away from them. They're in a comfort zone. They're running a little bit of their offense, right? You all right? Yeah. Get smacked in the eye? Yeah. All right. All right. Richie's doing a good job occasionally keeping that ball away from Marston, right? We almost had a 10. Probably did have a 10. Make other guys handle, make other guys make decisions. Be careful about leaving Pando even down the help here, right? Because they're going to kick it out for 3. They're always going to look for 3. Block out before we run. Okay? All right, let's go. Come on.
Pick it up.
So Bohannon imploring his troops to play that good defense he referred to. We almost got a 10. That was when Old Bridge seemed trapped in his backcourt for more than 10 seconds. The call wasn't made, but some good defensive pressure in that full court effort.
So you see that it's important for East Brunswick to really use that press when they score.
That's what they want to be doing. Whalen calling the set play. Takes his time off to Vangerud. Work the ball around to Kolakowski. Whalen now has it. Hartzman back to Whalen. Van Leeuwen cutting through the lane, and that ball was thrown behind him. It seemed like Whalen thought that Van Leeuwen was going to be staying put, and Van Leeuwen was cutting through the paint. So Old Bridge will inbound, and East Brunswick again with that full court man pressure as Ryan Brown will try to start things up. Off to Marston, Kartzman on Brown, and this time Pando without too much trouble. Knights bring it into the front court.
Yeah, they did a good job that time.
Zalski hounded, gets rid of the ball. Off to Daly. Hands off to Marston, off his foot, and out of bounds. So a turnover. That pressure defense by East Brunswick paying dividends once again.
Boy, they really are working hard on defense to get that turnover. 2 substitutions, Pete, for East Brunswick. Number 10 coming into the game. That's Mike Tresca. He's seen a lot of action. And we also have number 30 for the Bears. That's number 41. That'd be Tom Martin.
That's Tresca. Hartzman with a left-handed shot, no good, and the rebound comes to Pando. Marston will try to push it, then decides to slow it down. Marston trying to set things up for Old Bridge. Zielski puts the ball on the floor, and he gets called for the charge, but I tell you, Bears cannot let Zalski get the ball in the high post and dribble down for an easy shot. Fortunately for East Brunswick, Zalski called for the charge, his first personal, second team foul.
Pressure by Old Bridge.
And the ball comes in without much trouble to Whalen. Whalen pretty much unmolested into the front court. Takes it into the paint, drops it off for Kartzman, a little head shoulder, but he decides to kick it back out for Whalen. And Whalen will reset. Vangerud, and a whistle off the ball on Rich Whalen. So
that's his second foul.
That's his second personal and the third team foul. And you don't like to see that kind of foul when it's off the ball.
No, Whalen picking up his second foul still in the first period. He's kind of the quarterback of this team. Really makes things go.
Matt Van Leeuwen checks back in.
One thing we've noticed, Pete, though, is East Brunswick does like to substitute freely.
And that is very helpful when you like to push the ball. Marston has the ball sent right back at his face. Kartzman comes up with it. Van Leeuwen into the front court. Van Leeuwen back out to Kartzman. Right side for Martin. They swing the ball around, back to Van Leeuwen. This is Kartzman watched by Brown. Right side for Vangerud. Now Van Leeuwen from 3, sinks it.
There it is.
Matt Van Leeuwen, first bucket of the game, a 3-pointer. And Van Leeuwen, he now has 18 threes on the season.
And 18 points shy of 1,000 for a career.
Pando has the ball knocked away by Van Leeuwen after great pressure. Excellent ball movement that time, and Kartzman capitalizes his first bucket of the game, but some great pressure and ball movement by East Brunswick Bears with a 12-4 lead. Half minute to go. Full court pressure.
Steal.
Kartzman takes it away, but they're going to blow the whistle. And I think that's going to go on Kartzman, and it will be his second personal. So 14 fouls on East Brunswick, 2 for Whalen and 2 for Kartzman. And a substitution for Old Bridge is John Carroll checks into the game. Another substitution for East Brunswick, Brad Caruso checks in for Kartzman. And Kartzman has a bucket and 2 fouls. 33 seconds to go in this first period. Brown looking to get it in. Full court pressure picked off by EB. Shot up, no good by Tresca. Rebound pulled down by Brown, clears the crowd. 25 seconds to play. That pressure defense paying dividends once again for the Bears. Marston working against Van Leeuwen. Marston is showing some excellent quickness, and again, Old Bridge like to show the patience, and a 5-second violation, so that East Brunswick defense doing it again. Bears take over, 15 seconds to go in this first period, and a 12-4 lead.
All right, Bears probably going to play for one shot here, although you never know.
You would think so, but again, with a team that likes to push the ball, you're right, you never know. Obviously, Van Leeuwen taking his time across the timeline. Top of the circle, 5 seconds, puts it up around, no good, 4 seconds to play. And Caruso comes down with it, and the clock runs out for period number 1. So East Brunswick with a very solid first period, especially defensively, and the Bears with a 12-4 edge.
Well, Pete, very simply, Old Bridge started out 4-0, and then East Brunswick shut them down for the rest of the period and had their own 12-0 run. So you got to like what East Brunswick's doing.
And East Brunswick doing a lot of good things. Let's listen in with head coach Bo Henning.
Offensively, as long as every night we bring that same fired-up intensity to the defensive end, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Eventually, there's too many good offensive players here for it to not start going, especially if you execute your offense well, right? Now, it's not enough to run dummy offense. You got to set your men up and use screens, right? Use solid screens, okay? All right, and that gives the kid a chance to set a solid screen as well. All right. Postman, I don't think you're running hard enough because I haven't seen Zelski asked to come out yet. So that tells me we're not running hard enough yet. Okay, he's got to be begging to get off the floor. All right, come on, let's go.
There you have it, talking about Zelski, the big guy.
Well, I think the key point in that discussion was that East Brunswick does have too many offensive players that aren't really scoring. Van Leeuwen being, of course, the key one. He only has 3 points, 1 bucket. He's averaging 23 points a game, Pete.
That's almost better for East Brunswick, though, if the scoring is coming elsewhere, because then Old Bridge has to worry about someone else, and that might free Van Leeuwen up for a couple open shots. That is Van Leeuwen with the ball. A little weave action with Caruso, and a whistle off the ball down low.
What we got here?
Another one going against East Brunswick. Looks like it's going to be John Rotter. And for Rotter, that is his first personal, 15 foul on East Brunswick. Second foul against the Bears off the ball. A little unusual to see. Inbound comes to Marston. Van Leeuwen watching him, and he loses control.
Great
Beautiful
pass.
feed and 2 points. Mike Tresca making the play, and Caruso converting. And East Brunswick extends to 14-4. Here's Brown, not a real good pass that time, and Old Bridge trying to get things reset on offense, and Knights like to slow things down. Let's see if they can do it effectively and still get the ball movement that they need. A little double teaming. Marston from 3, no good. Long board, Zowski can't grab it, goes off somebody's foot. East Brunswick up with it, and the Bears could have the numbers. Here comes Van Leeuwen pushing the ball up court, and he is ridden on his hip by Ryan Brown, who picks up his first personal, and Van Leeuwen perhaps should have picked his head up and thrown that ball down court. It was a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1 if he got that ball down court.
Yeah, and what really created that opportunity was the tremendous hustle on the defensive board by East Brunswick. That was a pure hustling rebound.
Pando checks back in for Brown. Van Leeuwen will inbound. Just underway period number 2. East Brunswick with a 14-4 lead over Old Bridge. Bears 5-0 in the season. The Knights are 3-1. Van Leeuwen working against Caruso.
Almost a double team on Van Leeuwen, Pete.
They want to keep the ball away from him. Nice play underneath, but somehow it seems as if Rotter rushed that shot. He expected the defense there, did a little head-shoulder fake, and turned around. There was nobody there, and he missed the layup.
Well, you remember he had that first in the first period. Zelski blocked him, and I think he was feeling it that time.
Could very well be. Again, full court pressure by EB. Marston against Van Leeuwen. have to be approaching 10 seconds once again, but he probably beat it that time, but tipped away by Tresca. Marston recovers.
They haven't gotten it across yet, have they?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Get the ball, and then it was knocked away by Tresca as soon as he got it across. Pando with a running one-hander with his first bucket of the game, and the first time that Old Bridge has scored since early in period number 1. It's 14-6 East Brunswick. Tresca from 3.
Oh.
All net.
Wow.
Mike Tresca, his third three-pointer of the season. And Old Bridge coach Rocky Knowles is a little bit upset about what he is seeing. East Brunswick leading 17-6, 6:26 to play in the second period. And let's listen in to head coach Bo Henning.
Okay. All right, now, if you lay off a guy back there and they're going to clear us out, and that's tougher, and that means our rotations are going to be later, right? We want early rotations. You know what they're doing? They're bringing everybody up. That's playing right into your hands, right? That means shorter rotations, shorter passes that you got to steal, okay? All right, remember now, we're in 5-foul situations, so we want to play it as tough as we can without putting them into a bonus situation, okay? All right, on the offensive end now, after making them play the whole court, they're not a very good half-court team. If your cuts are sharp, you're going to get good looks at the basket. If Zelski lays off you, you have to dribble into him to create a passing lane. Right? He'll just lay back there in the lane otherwise. If he's guarding you and he lays off, you stick a 3 on him, right? Come on.
All right, the word from head coach Bo Henning, and really we have seen East Brunswick's defense control and dictate the entire tempo of this game.
Well, Pete, what you said before also, the defense creating the opportunities, but once they're down the offensive end of the floor here, there's been a lot of distribution of scoring, and that's been successful for the Bears.
And that always makes the team more effective. The more balanced that you can have, the better off you can be. And now it's a double team effort in the backcourt. Old Bridge is going to have to push it across the timeline. Brown gets there, left side, Pando, long range 2, no good. East Brunswick with Van Leeuwen, 3-on-1 if they hurry. Bounce pass ahead, layup is no good. Van Leeuwen tips it up and in.
And he gets a lot of points that way off the rebound. He hangs loose. Almost a steal.
Tresca with pressure. Rodder missed the layup. He was going full tilt. That's a tough layup to make when you're running at full speed. But Van Leeuwen with good hustle after making that pass to the backcourt, coming up quickly and getting the follow. East Brunswick leading 19-6, 6 minutes to play in the second period. And if this defensive pressure continues, as we have seen, Tresca's been a real dynamo. And Caruso getting whistled for his first personal. That's the 16th foul. And here at head coach Bo Henning saying he wanted to keep away from another foul. So East Brunswick has to be careful with 5:53 to play in the first half.
Side out, play smart, side out. Back up.
Zelski will inbound, gets it to Marston. Van Leeuwen watching him. Haven't seen much from Rich Wellen since he picked up his second foul, so that is why Van Leeuwen is on Marston. Ben Kartzman also on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Zelski playing 18 feet from the hoop. Pando with a running one-hander, banks it home. Glenn Pando, his second bucket of the game.
Nice shot.
He averages about 14 a game. He's got 4 on the evening. This is a pass down low, and Van Leeuwen had the positioning, and Zelski not a factor defensively that time down low.
Put it on the floor. There's another.
Not a good foul by Van Leeuwen. That's his first.
Probably more frustration than anything else. He was probably disappointed he didn't get that shot in, get an open layup. So we will be in the 1-on-1 next foul.
We're in the 1-on-1 right now. That is 7.
I'm sorry. You're right.
7.
It is the 7th foul.
Not a good foul, though, and Henning had said to watch out with 5 fouls, and numbers 6 and 7, not particularly good fouls, and that'll send Marston to the free throw line. He is scoreless. He's averaging 18.5 points a game and is yet to sink anything. Front end of the 1-on-1, it manages to get the friendly roll and picks up his first point of the game. 5:20 to play. First half, East Brunswick leading Old Bridge 19-9 and threatening to run away with this one, literally and figuratively. The second for Marston, no good. Rebound batted around, and finally Caruso tracks it down, but Marston takes it away. Good hustle by him. Pando from 3 sinks it. Glenn Pando now with 7 points. He is leading the way for Old Bridge. Coming back the other way, Caruso lays it up and in. So he has 4 points, and East Brunswick converting quickly, taking advantage of an Old Bridge defense that fell asleep a little bit.
Great defense.
Picked off one more time,
Whoa.
and the layup is up and in. Kolakowski getting challenged, but sinking it. He's got 4. It's 23-12. 4:45 to play. Marston in the front court. That's in the first half. Marston gets the lane and puts it up no good.
Oh,
Marston with a board. Good hustle once again by Marston. He's got to look at a 3. And he'll launch. Not a real good shot there. Rebound comes right back down to Daly, and he best get it out and reset this whole thing. Now he's looking for Brown to get it, but Brown will fire from 3, in and out. And the rebound comes to East Brunswick.
And they want to run.
And Kolakowski gets it ahead for Caruso, but he took steps. Again, contrasting styles, and Old Bridge should not get into a run-and-gun situation with East Brunswick, and that's what it seems like the Knights are getting tempted to do.
Yeah, it's real obvious that East Brunswick has the speed advantage here, and certainly their hands are all over the place when it comes to defense.
Now, Kartzman is going to check back in, despite the fact that he has 2 fouls. And Kartzman will come in for Caruso, who sits down with 4 points. Rotter and Van Leeuwen. Excuse me, Van Leeuwen is 5. Rotter has 5 as well.
Ooh, nice pick.
Marston running one-on-one, can't hit it. Van Leeuwen has the ball tipped away by Daly. And East Brunswick with possession, leading 23-12, 4:13 to play in this first half. So Whalen is also back in the game. Whalen and Kartzman each playing with 2 fouls now. That's Kartzman on the right side, watched by Brown. Good man defense by Brown, and Kartzman eludes the traffic. Now looks for some help. Rocky Nose calling for a 5-second call, obviously doesn't get it. Kolakowski on the baseline, trap, gets it out to Van Leeuwen, no good, off the mark. Kartzman right back up and in. Ben Kartzman, a nice follow. He now has 4 points, and it's 25-12 East Brunswick. This is Shaw in the front court. Shaw nearly lost control, then hands off to Marston. This is the type of offense that Old Bridge wants to run. A little more patience, spreading the ball, moving it around. Pando looks for the shot. Pando down to the baseline with a reverse layup around. No good. Rebound, batted around, and it's Daly up with it. Daly back out of Pando from 17. And a whistle down low. As Glenn Pando now has 9 points.
I think they're going to catch Daly on a push-off underneath, but the bucket will count.
That's right, Justin Daly with his first personal. That is the 4th team foul, but Pando now with 9 points. He has 9 of the Knights' 14 points. East Brunswick with an 11-point edge, 25-14, 3:16 to play in the first half. A little full-court pressure shown by Old Bridge now, as Marston is watching Van Leeuwen. Almost token pressure, though. Marston backpedaling the whole way, gets it off to Whalen. Whalen, top of the circle, right side. They try to run a screen for Van Leeuwen. Now it's down low, spinning move by Kolakowski, a little bit short. Brown with a rebound in front of Kartzman. Marston in the front court, added by Whalen. High post for Daly. This is Pando, looks for the 3, but decides better of it, and hands off for Marston. Watched by Whalen. This is Shaw. Shaw guarded by Vangerud. Pando with a good crossover, perhaps not a very good crossover. He was called for traveling.
Well, I was wondering about that call because I didn't think there was too much contact going on, and the official blew the whistle. He says, well, should I call it traveling?
That's what he went with. Went with the traveling as John Caruso checks in now for Glenn Pando, who sits down with 9. East Brunswick with possession, 2:39 to play, first half. Bears leading 25-14.
All right, more substitutes.
Mike Tresca checks back in for East Brunswick. This is Van Leeuwen, watched by Pete Marston. Just 1 point on the evening. Marston averages 18.5 a game. Whistle off the ball down low, as a little battle was going on between Daly and Vangerud. And they whistled Daly for his 2nd personal and the 15th foul. And now Chris Zalski will check back in, and he'll step in for Daly. So Justin Daly sits down. He is scoreless and with 2 personal fouls. Kartzman will inbound. Looking, still looking. Tresca from 3, short of the mark. Ball batted around. Here come Marston. East Brunswick getting back quickly on defense.
Oh,
Marston
nice look.
Down low, beautiful feed, and it's easy 2 for John Caruso. His first bucket of the game. It's 25-16 East Brunswick. Bears push it up court. Vangerud back to the basket up against Zalski. Kicks it out to Tresca. Kartzman, foot on the line, nails the 2-pointer.
Yeah, he can nail that with consistency if you leave him open.
6 points for Kartzman, and his foot was on the line. Shaw having some trouble. Now to Marston in the front court. Marston from 3, all net. Pete Marston now with 4 points. That's his first field goal of the game. 27-19 East Brunswick. 1:45 to play in the first half. Hartzman working against Brown. That's Kolakowski, right side for Treska. Van Leeuwen up top.
Pete, I don't know about you, but I get the feeling that even though East Brunswick has this lead, and as you said, they were threatening to run away with it, it won't take much for Old Bridge to get back in this game.
Old Bridge has certainly been hanging tough. Lead is now at 8 points, 27-19 with 1:34 to play. Foul going against East Brunswick. And since the Bears are in the 1-1, it'll send Old Bridge to the free throw line as John Rotter checks back in for Dave Vangerud. And it'll be Marston going to the free throw line. So Marston in the 1-1. The only other situation for the Knights at the free throw line, hit the front end and missed the back end. That foul was called against Jim Kolakowski, by the way. That's his first. And Marston sinks his first free throw. So he now has 5 points on the game. And as you mentioned, Jimmy, 7-point game with an opportunity to cut it to 6. And Old Bridge is not going away, not surprisingly, of course. Despite the fact that they've been flustered consistently, they've managed to hang in there. So 6 for Marston, 27-21 East Brunswick, 1.5 to play first half. Kolakowski comes right side for Caruso, puts the ball on the floor, has Zalski far from the hoop. Treska, he is watched by Caruso. Kolakowski working against Shaw. East Brunswick showing a lot of patience now. Treska drives the lane, drops it off nicely. Shaw tips it away. Free-for-all on the floor. Ball is still loose. And Caruso comes down with it for Old Bridge. 1:05 to play first half. Bears by 6. Here comes Marston. He will launch from 3. A little bit short. Van Leeuwen with a rebound. Less than a minute to go. East Brunswick looking to push 4 on 3 if they hurry. Van Leeuwen from 3. No good. Zalski has the ball knocked away. Ball tipped around. And a whistle is blown, and the foul will go against East Brunswick and Mike Treska. That is his first personal, and the 1-1 for Old Bridge once again.
So the opportunity to go to the foul stripe for Old Bridge is edging them closer.
Those free shots never hurt you, that's for sure.
And with Marston, who is what, I think he's 3 for 4 from the foul line.
He is 3 for 4. Has shown good quickness. And he's very aggressive, perhaps sometimes a little too aggressive for his own good. But has played a nice ball game so far, despite the fact he struggled in the first period and he sinks the first one. So Marston now with 7 points. He was 6 of 10 from 3-point range against Carteret in a victory in Old Bridge's Christmas tournament. So he can hit the outside shot. And for East Brunswick, Tom Martin checks back in. So Marston with another opportunity at the line, and he may shoot the Knights right back in at the free throw line and hits the next one as well. So he now has 8. It's a 4-point game as we move down to 45 seconds in the first half. Treska from Martin, right side Kolakowski, nearly tipped away by Pando. Back out for Treska, head, shoulder, nice move into the paint, throws it up and in. Solid move by Mike Treska. He now has 5 points. It's 29-23, half minute to play. Full court pressure once again.
East Brunswick does not want to foul here. Oh. And what happens?
I'm not sure what that was. I saw Marston and Van Leeuwen crossing midcourt together. They call it on Van Leeuwen, and that is his second personal foul, and that'll send Marston back to the free throw line once again. So he is 5 for 6 from the stripe. 22 seconds to play in the first half. East Brunswick leading 29-23.
Van Leeuwen picks up his second foul. I know that Henning didn't want that to happen.
That was a weird-looking foul because they both came across midcourt together, and I'm not sure I saw contact, but just saw them crossing out of the corner of my eye. And then quickly the whistle was blown. So Marston perfect on the first. And he is proving to be the catalyst for this Old Bridge team once again. Wellen checks back in for Van Leeuwen. So Wellen, Van Leeuwen, and Kartzman all have 3 fouls for East Brunswick. Justin Daly with a pair of fouls for Old Bridge. And Marston with a high arcing shot is no good. Rebound free on the floor. Shaw comes down with it, has it knocked away. Here comes Treska the other way.
Well, they had the numbers. What have they got here? Oh, they're going to call Marston, I believe.
That's the way it looks. 15 seconds to play in the first half. And for Marston, that is his first personal, but that will send East Brunswick to the free throw line of the 1-1.
Or does it? I have 6 fouls. team foul here.
That is 6.
Okay.
I apologize for that. That is 6. So for East Brunswick, it'll be Martin inbounding, 15 seconds to play. First half, Bears leading by 5. In for Whalen. Whalen will want to hold things up for one shot. And Tresca now watching the clock. 8 seconds. Tresca into the paint, loses control at 5 seconds, and he went down hard.
Yeah, you got to call that. For a moment, I thought Tresca just tripped, but I guess they're going to call who?
I believe they're going to call Justin Swanson, who just checked into the game.
All right, now that's the 7th team foul, and Tresca is the one that's going to be going to the line. This is the first one-on-one opportunity for the Bears.
And the first opportunity at the free throw line as well. So Tresca has 5 points, averaging 3 points a game on the season. First free throw around and out. 4 seconds to play. Zalski not sure of the clock. Now Marston has it, launches, and it's all net. Pete Marston from beyond midcourt with a 3-point shot to make it 29-27 at halftime. And it is fitting for Marston, who has brought Olbridge right back into the game, launching from beyond midcourt and hitting a 3-pointer. He has 12 points now on the evening.
Well, you really got to wonder, Pete, if what that's going to do to East Brunswick's psyche, because they held the lead for the first. They had a tremendous first quarter, playing excellent defense, but probably some of the plays that didn't work on this end of the floor, and then some nagging fouls that really hurt the Bears. Marston went to the line, I believe, 8 times in the second quarter, and sank 6 of them. They're back in the game.
Absolutely. So Marston getting it done very effectively, and East Brunswick, which had a 14-4 lead at one point, that 10-point lead is down to 2, 29-27. We will come back, of course, and bring you half number 2. East Brunswick leading 29-27. A dramatic 3-quarter court shot by Pete Marston for 3 points has brought Oldbridge to within 2 of East Brunswick, 29-27, and the Bears will inbound to begin half number 2. Pete Haskell along with Jimmy Allinder bringing you East Brunswick against Oldbridge. Bears at 5-0 on the year, and the Knights are 3-1. East Brunswick will inbound, moving from left to right in this second half, and East Brunswick trying to run some motion, and there's Marston with an ear steal before slipping, and Marston, an outstanding game thus far for Oldbridge. He leads the way with 12 points. For Oldbridge, Marston with 12. Pando has 9, 2 apiece for Caruso, Ryan Brown, and Chris Zalski. For East Brunswick, 6 for Ben Kartzman, 5 apiece for John Rotter, Matt Van Leeuwen, and Mike Tresca, 4 apiece for Brad Caruso and Jim Kolakowski. East Brunswick with the 29-27 lead.
Remember you said about Marston, he had but 1 point. Now he's got 12.
That's right. He really fired things up. Of course, he did get 6 from the free throw line. And that's Whalen in traffic drawing the foul against Oldbridge. That'll be the first foul in the second half. Foul going against Greg Shaw.
Not a shooting foul.
And for Shaw, that is his second personal foul. Inbound to Kolakowski. Up top for Rado, that's Van Leeuwen from 3, a little bit strong, and Brown with a rebound.
He's been off.
Has been off. He's got 1 3-pointer and 1 2-pointer. This is Shaw with a long-range shot, no good.
Normally not an outside shooter.
This is Van Leeuwen, 3-on-2. Van Leeuwen off glass, no good but a whistle. And the foul will go against Oldbridge.
And Van Leeuwen will go to the line on that one.
And you know that Glenn Pando's not going to be happy about that one. Seems like that call may have been able to go either way. Both players coming down at a pretty good rate of speed for Pando.
Something else about Van Leeuwen, Pete, he usually goes to the line a lot more often than we've seen him. This is his first opportunity tonight, so that's something else to look at.
Van Leeuwen hits 78% from the line and is perfect on the first one. The first free throw opportunity for the Bears this evening, and that coming in the first minute of half number 2. Second one perfect as well. So Van Leeuwen now with 7 points and putting some pressure on Pando in the backcourt. Pando now doubled up and throws it away. So East Brunswick
turnover
with that good defensive pressure. And the Bears will take over. And that's the way that East Brunswick built that lead in half number 1, where it was 10 points. able to take advantage of the double teaming. Well in behind the back, loses control, gets out for Kolakowski. Little runner around it in. Nice move by Kolakowski. He now has 6 points. East Brunswick leading 33-27. Minute 5 gone by. Period number 3.
Oh, lost it. Yes.
East Brunswick comes up with it. Strong to the hoop, around, and no good for Caruso. And here comes Pando the other way. Pando 1-on-3, better slow it down, decides to do that. Brown to the baseline. Looking for some help, but it's picked off by Whalen. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Nice bounce pass coming to Kolakowski, but knocked away by Marston.
Went off his knee, though.
And they say it went off Kolakowski. Nice defensive play by Marston. Good play by East Brunswick, though, to push it. Brown inbounds to Pando. Minute and a half gone by. East Brunswick by 6, leading Old Bridge. Pando hounded by Van Leeuwen. Into the front court, loses the dribble, then holds on off to Brown. Caruso watching him. This is Justin Daly up top for Marston from 3, sinks it.
Yeah,
Pete
he's
Marston,
really good.
He's got 15 points, including 3 three-pointers now. He shot very well from that second period on. Kolakowski jump pass down low, and it's knocked away as Rotter went up strong.
I believe they're going to catch Daly.
And Rotter will be going to the free throw line for 2 shots. So Rotter will settle in at the free throw line. Foul goes against Justin Daly. That is his 3rd. Rotter averages just about 6 points a game, but shoots 54% from the free throw line. He has 5 points on the game, including his first 3-pointer of the season. Now let's see what he can do at the free throw line. First one's perfect. Well, that shot did not look like a 54% shooter. Of course, the second one is still to come. And that one looked pretty good as well, but we've got a lane violation.
No basket, so he's 50%. Of no fault of his own.
No fault of his own. Well, in a close game, I mean, you never want to see a lane violation, but especially in a close game. 34-30 East Brunswick. 2 minutes and change gone by, 3rd period. Brown pushing it into the front court, takes it himself well short of the mark. Kolakowski with a board. Off to Whalen. Whalen free throw line, pulls up, can't hit it, a little bit short. Marston with a board for Old Bridge. Long pass down court for Pando. Kolakowski's back Pando jumper, no good. And Daly can't grab the board, so Whalen does. East Brunswick pushing the ball one more time. Nice spin move down low, up and in for John Rotter. He now has 8.
Boy, that was an excellent move.
And Rotter is somebody who doesn't shoot a whole lot. He's averaged just 4 attempts a game, and he's got 3 field goals already in this one, plus a free throw. Rebound to Daly, has it knocked away. Whalen can't come up with it. Brown can't come up with it, and a foul. And this time the foul is going to go against Justin Daly.
I believe that's his 3rd.
I think that's his 4th.
4th now, right.
That is number 4 on Daly, so he is going to come out of the game.
Interesting that Zalski's not in. You would think that that Daly being rugged under the boards, that Zalski be the first one in, but he does not come in.
Doesn't come in now as John Henio checks in, making his first appearance in the game for Old Bridge. East Brunswick leading 36-30. Rocky Knolls apparently not pleased with Zalski's effort in the first half. Well inside court, around, and gets it to fall.
I believe first 2 points for him.
Whelan's first bucket of the game, 38-30. East Brunswick leading, 4:40 to play in this 3rd period. Marston with a lot of heat from Whalen brings it into the front court. East Brunswick has been very effective with that man defense through this game. Big screen by Henio, who's wearing the high black socks. I certainly hope there's a story to that. Henio with the dribble off to Marston. That looks like it's going to be a charge.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it's gonna be.
A little bit of indecision by the official. I thought he was going to call a foul on Raylan.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Whalen and Marston collided, but it did seem as if Marston was a little bit out of control. So that is his 2nd personal.
All right, now they're going to talk to Rocky Knolls.
That's 5 team fouls on Old Bridge and none on East Brunswick.
Right, which is quite a bit of a switch from the 2nd period where East Brunswick got into one-on-one foul trouble very quickly. And, of course, with Marston on the line, that's how they got back into this game.
Absolutely. That was the difference for Old Bridge jumping right back in this contest. Now, East Brunswick has an 8-point lead with 4:20 to play, but this second half thus far has been very evenly played. Old Bridge sticking in very closely. Caruso on the right side. Caruso looking for some help, comes out well and will reset for the Bears. Working against Shaw, blows right by him, can't sink the layup. Rebound comes to Marston, who's been all over the place. Marston in the front court, bounce pass to Shaw, he's doubled up, out to Marston. Pando, Brown from 3. Off the mark, rebound Van Leeuwen. East Brunswick will push it the other way. Old Bridge gets back on defense. Bounce pass in the paint, kicks it back out. Kolakowski from 3, can't get it. And the long rebound comes to Pando. Old Bridge has gotten back much more quickly on defense in the second half. Pando with a dangerous move. Henio short-range jumper, air ball, and the rebound comes to Wellen. 3.5 to play, third period. East Brunswick by 8. Wellen tries to go the distance, draws the foul, and he will go to the free throw line. So Rich Wellen will go to the line on the 6th team foul.
Problem for Old Bridge right now is the wrong people are taking the shots. Henio, I don't think he's a major scorer, and I think if they're going to be able to get back in this game, you have to have people like Marston and Pando doing the shooting for Old Bridge.
Mass substitutions for East Brunswick. 4 players coming in. Tom Martin, Mike Tresca, Dave Vangerud, and who was the other one? I guess that was it. 3 so far, and Kartzman will check in for Wellen after the free throws. So Wellen at the line for his first opportunity from the line and sinks it. Wellen now with 3 points on the game. He shoots 0% from the free throw line. 0 for 2 coming into the game tonight, so he's all the way up to 33% on the first shot, and he's back down to 25% on the second missed shot. So Wellen with 3 points, ball gets knocked out of bounds, and now Ben Kartzman will check in for Rich Wellen, who takes a seat.
Actually, I believe we got a foul there, Pete. Tom Martin went up strong.
That's Pete Marston.
Yes.
Who picks up his 3rd personal, so Justin Daly has 4, and Marston is 3, and that puts East Brunswick in the 1-1 with 3:22 to play. So Old Bridge with 7 team fouls over the limit. The Bears with no team fouls.
And of concern is Marston's 3rd foul, plus the fact that East Brunswick will be shooting 1-on-1 here on in.
So it is Martin at the free throw line, and he sinks the first one. Martin 50% from the line, averaging 5 points a game. And that is his first point of the contest.
Bears are back up to 10.
And East Brunswick will try to push it from here. Second free throw good as well. And we're up to 41-30. So Marston working against Van Leeuwen. And East Brunswick should consider going at Marston when the Bears get the ball back. Pass down low for Shaw, a little bit off the mark. Vangerud playing tough down low, has the ball knocked away. Kartzman up with the board for East Brunswick. 3:05 to play. East Brunswick pushing Old Bridge, getting back on defense. Kartzman takes it himself, no good, but a charge. And for Ben Kartzman, that is personal foul number 3, I believe, but we will check. That is number 3 on Kartzman. Okay. Justin Daly will check back in for Old Bridge. He'll replace John Caruso, and keep in mind, Daly has 4 fouls. Pete Marston has 3 fouls.
Pete, again, I don't understand the shot selection for Old Bridge down their end of the floor here. The wrong people are taking the shot.
Old Bridge does seem a little bit out of sync in this second half. This is Shaw looking against Vangerud. Hands off to Pano. He does want the ball in his hands, and he's someone who should be shooting the ball. But he's got to free himself, get a little help, and that was a ridiculous pass thrown to no one. Tresca comes up with a long bounce pass down the court to Martin, who lays it up and in. Tom Martin now with 4, and East Brunswick extends to 43-30 with 2:20 to play. Has trouble, nearly stolen by Tresca, gives up the body. Ryan Brown, strong move, can't get the bucket, but does get the foul. Brown seemed a little bit out of control and was probably lucky to draw that foul because that ball wasn't going in. He was running a little bit too hard at that basket. Foul will go against Tom Martin. That will be his first and the second team foul against East Brunswick. So Ryan Brown will go to the free throw line. Brown is averaging, let's put it this way, he's got 2 points tonight. Not much of a scorer, though, on the season. As John Caruso will come in for Justin Daly. So Daly, who's got the 4 fouls, came in for just a moment or two as Rocky Knowles, the head coach of Old Bridge, wanted a word with Caruso. And Brown is at the line. East Brunswick with a 43-30 lead, 2:17 to play, third period. First one's a little bit strong. East Brunswick wants to push the ball offensively, and let's see what the Bears will do on this play. Second shot is around and falls.
They call timeout now? Nope.
And again, East Brunswick does push the ball, but Kartzman's pass a little bit strong for Treska.
All right, I think Rocky Knowles wants to talk it over with his team.
And the reason we have not seen Chris Zalski, what we're talking about, apparently he felt ill in the locker room, and therefore he has not come back and has not played in the second half. East Brunswick with a 43-31 lead, 2:06 to play in this third period. Let's listen in with head coach Bo Henning.
Away from you, right? It's just going to go around you. Play D, but think charge, because we're at a disadvantage. That's an awful big play when you can do that, okay? All right, in our break, be looking inside. They get caught behind. I think they're behind you all the time, aren't they? Start inside first. If they rake down, that's the best three we get, is when we kick it out and guys are stepping into it and shooting it, okay? All right, now, we're 23. We're 23. I want to just play it straight. They haven't done anything against our regular defense. And we've only got 2 fouls, so let's get out of this quarter with low foul number. We'll come back to 34 later.
Well, Henning just imploring his team to continue doing what they're doing, and they did it well. And this third quarter has been a real masterpiece for the Bears. And remember that I thought they were a little concerned about that long three-pointer by Marston, but they've come back nicely.
Outscoring Old Bridge 14-4 in this third period thus far, and this is Marston working against Welland. Less than 2 minutes to play now. East Brunswick by a dozen. And they're going to call a traveling violation on Shaw. The pressure defense caused that. He wasn't sure what he was going to do and moved that pivot foot. And that caused yet another turnover for Old Bridge. This is Pando putting the heat on Kartzman. Kartzman between the legs. Minute 45 to play, third period. Interesting, though, when East Brunswick can't get the break, sometimes that half-court offense looks a little bit stagnant. East Brunswick much more effective when it can run.
That's exactly the point, and they get it off the turnover, and they run the transition, and they usually have the numbers. That's pure hustle.
A lot of players for East Brunswick. Everybody stays fresh. Treska in traffic along the baseline, kicks it out for Kartzman. Long-range three, a little bit short.
Too open, huh?
Yep, it seems that way. Rebound comes to Caruso, and this is Marston. Less than a minute and a half to play, third period. Shaw for Pando. Pando needs to look for his shot. Back out to Marston. Really, those are the two players that need to be shooting the ball for Old Bridge. Pando and Marston, they have, at least Pando in this second half has been shut down. He has not scored in this second half after scoring 9 points in the first half.
And you notice that Van Leeuwen is on him. I'm not sure he's been playing him the entire game. They caught him with the foul.
That's his third foul for Matt Van Leeuwen. Excuse me, 3 team fouls.
Van Leeuwen with only 7 points with my count here.
That's what he's got.
And he's going to take a seat here. Henning does not want him to pick up his 4th foul with, what, 1:07 left in the period.
And Van Leeuwen's only points in the second half, 2 free throws. He's got 7 points on the night. Pete Marston to the line. He's got 15, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, and sinks the first one. And he was very quiet in the first quarter. A lot of noise in the second quarter, very quiet here in the third quarter. Marston's second, no good, and Van Grood with the board. Knocked away by Brown, so East Brunswick maintains possession. Tom Martin will come down for the inbound. Minute 4 to play, third period. East Brunswick leading 43-32. And Marston will put some heat on Whalen in the backcourt. Whalen, no problem with the pressure. Treska, again, interesting to see what East Brunswick does in the half court. Treska for Martin, looking down low, can't find Van Grood as he's being played well by Caruso. This is Kartzman. East Brunswick running a little bit of a weave. Whalen tries to get the screen from Martin. Now the ball down low for Van Grood. Puts it up off glass, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. And they say the ball last went off John Caruso. So East Brunswick maintains 33 seconds to go in the third period. Bears by 11. East Brunswick struggling just a little bit, it seems, with a half-court offense. Martin for Vangerud. This is Kartzman. Need to work some more screens. That time, almost a quick screen that Whalen used, but Kartzman didn't see him. Now it's Martin for Kartzman. Down low for Whalen, cutting. Beautiful hesitation, gets the easy two. Rich Whalen now with 5 points. 15 seconds to play, Bears by 13. This is Brown. Wonder if Brown's aware of the clock. 8 seconds. Now he seems to
Great question.
Now he seems aware. 5 seconds. Brown spinning. Brown off balance. Long range shot, no good. Rebound comes to Martin. And the period comes to a close. So
that was a good stop by East Brunswick in the final seconds to not allow Old Bridge to get that lead down to at least 11. He talked about East Brunswick being a little shaky in their half-court offense. I think a lot of that had to do in the last couple of minutes with Van Leeuwen being taken out. He really is the catalyst when it comes to those three-point shots and a lot of other good things. But the Bears have really been doing an excellent job all the way around.
Interesting that Brown at first did not seem to realize how much time was on the clock, and once he did, he really rushed more than he needed to do. He had 5 seconds to go just at the three-point arc, and he made a spin and then threw up an off-balance shot. So Brown got off a shot, but it wasn't necessarily a good shot. And while East Brunswick has the 13-point lead, Bears don't seem to be in a dominant mode right now, and Old Bridge very much in this game, trailing by 13.
Well, the one positive thing we can look at for the Bears is the fact that Van Leeuwen only scoring 7 points. The distribution of points by the other members of the team have been really valuable. We talk Kartzman with 6 points. Rotter has, I believe, 7 or 8.
8 points for Rotter.
8 points. So Whalen has 5. All right, here we go.
This is Marston controlling. Marston and Pando are the two that need to be doing the shooting for Old Bridge. This is Shaw. He'll take the three-point shot. That one was pretty. That was a rainbow. Greg Shaw with his first bucket of the game. Absolutely. Now it's 45-35. Whalen pushing it up court, cross-court for Kartzman. Kartzman baseline for Treska. Treska double-team back out for Kartzman. Head, shoulder into the paint. Running left-hander around. No good. Rebound tipped around. Marston has it. Old Bridge with an opportunity to get it down to single digits. Pando on the wing, can't control. Back out to Brown. East Brunswick's got to tighten up that man defense. Treska watching Brown. He'll reset.
Pando's another one that's been quiet in this half.
Very quiet. 9 first-half points, no second-half points, and a whistle off the ball against Old Bridge.
Maybe Ryan Brown?
Indeed it was. Ryan Brown with an illegal screen. That is his second personal, and that is, again, not what Old Bridge needs. Trying to get back into this game, and a foul off the ball on the offensive end. That is a scary way to knock yourself out of the game as Van Leeuwen and Kolakowski check back in for Treska and Tom Martin. And Mike Treska has had a wonderful ball game for East Brunswick. A lot of hustle on both ends of the court, working very, very hard. And checking in now for Old Bridge is Justin Daly, who replaces John Caruso, who sits down with a bucket. So Rich Whalen at the free throw line, 5 points, and he is 1 of 2 on the evening. 1 and 1, front end is good.
Free throws will be rather important this quarter, I imagine.
Whalen with 6 points now, roughly doubling his scoring average for the season. Can't hit the second though, and the ball is knocked out of bounds off the rebound by Rotter. So Old Bridge takes over, trailing by 11 with 7:12 to play. Plenty of time left in this one. East Brunswick's going to need to tighten it up defensively. Marston working against Whalen. And Whalen did a very good job on Marston in that first half. And really, Marston didn't come alive until Whalen picked up his second foul. Whalen is back on him right now. This is Daly. Comes out to Pando. Van Leeuwen is watching him.
Oh, ill-advised.
Well, they thought that Marston was cutting to the hoop, but he was not. And the ball was passed to where nobody was standing, and East Brunswick takes over on another costly turnover. 2 consecutive turnovers now for Old Bridge. 6:40 to play, fourth period. East Brunswick by 11. Kolakowski off to Whalen. Kartzman left wing. Watched by Pando. This is Van Leeuwen cutting, and he is fouled, and that should be all for Justin Daly. Check that. The foul's going to go against Greg Shaw. I thought it looked like Deli might have reached in, but they're going to call it on Greg Shaw. So for Shaw, it is his 3rd personal, and this is 2 shots coming for Van Leeuwen.
Just his 2nd trip to the line tonight.
He has 7 points, averaging 23 on the season. Hits 78% from the line and sinks the first one.
And you have to think that with that foul shooting average, they're going to try to keep the ball in Van Leeuwen's hands this quarter and so that he gets fouled.
That would certainly be the wise thing to do as he hits the 2nd as well. Van Leeuwen now with 9 points. Pressure by Wellen in the backcourt on Marston. 6.5 to play. East Brunswick back to a 13-point edge. Drops it off for Brown. A right wing jumper. Perfect. So Ryan Brown now with 5 points. 48-37. 6:15 to play. 4th period. Van Leeuwen from 3. A little bit strong. Brown with a board for Oldbridge. Marston in the backcourt. Well, Oldbridge doesn't mind the tempo picking up now as the Knights have some points to make up. They're down by 11. Obviously, not an insurmountable lead by any stretch. Shaw against Rotter, off to Brown. That's Marston once again. Van Leeuwen hounding him. Marston watching. Better watch that 5-second call. We saw one of those earlier in the game.
So you got Van Leeuwen on Marston now.
Right. And Wellen is on Pano. That's a running one-hander. Wow. Tough shot, and Marston sinks it.
Terrific shot.
He now is 18. He's high man. Quickly down court underneath.
Well, they had that available to him last time, Pete, and this time they caught him.
So Rotter now has 10 points. He's leading the way for East Brunswick. Full court pressure. Kartzman now watching Brown. Less than 5.5 to play. East Brunswick with a 50-39 lead. Good defense by Wellen, who is now back on Marston.
Boy, they're doing a lot of switching here, huh?
Trying to keep Oldbridge honest. Marston off to Pando. Pando behind the back. He's been able to free himself. Here comes Rotter the other way. Rotter with a layup up and in.
That was a killer. That was a killer.
12 points, and Oldbridge takes a timeout. 4:59 to play. East Brunswick stretching to 52-39. And 2 big fast break baskets in a row. And we will check in and hear what Bo Henning has to say about this as his team with a couple of big baskets in a row, an opportunity to put some distance between themselves and the Knights.
Everybody else all right? Jimmy? Okay. John, you all right? All right, we're going to come back 34. Now, do me a favor. Play it tough without fouling, right? Play it tough without fouling. I would like to get down to the last couple of minutes without being in the bonus, right? Without being in the bonus. We'd like to have something to work with. Offensively now, if you don't have a real good look out of your break, get a little time going, right? Get 5 or 6 touches with it, okay? They're coming out after you, so be real ball tough. Real ball tough with it, okay? And don't let them play you stupid. They overplay you too much, take a back door, okay? Rich, stay with Fist for a little bit, all right? All dead ball situations. All right, come on.
You want someone else?
34, fellas.
You want someone else?
Well, Pete, what you hear there is that Henning wants the Bears to be a little bit more deliberate in their offense. 5 touches, you heard him say. So that means slow down the ball a little bit, take some time off the clock. And he also, on the defensive end of the floor, does not want East Brunswick to get into the bonus situation for Oldbridge. Actually, they have 4 more fouls, I believe, or 3 more fouls before Oldbridge gets the 1-and-1.
Well, it is going to be interesting because East Brunswick has not shown a good half-court offense in this game, and part of that is Van Leeuwen has not gotten a lot of good shots and hasn't hit a lot of the shots that he's taken. So East Brunswick has to be aware that if Oldbridge is playing a good half-court game and can get some open shots, the defense here is going to be the key. Ryan Brown, long-range shot, no good. Kolakowski with a strong board, has it knocked away. It's out of bounds, and they say that it went off Shaw. So East Brunswick will get the ball back, leading 52-39, 4:44 to play in the 4th period. So as we heard from Bo Henning, we will look for a patient East Brunswick offense. Nice to have those 2 fast break buckets that give you the opportunity to be patient as Kolakowski gets the easy layup. And if you're ever going to take a shot, might as well be an easy one, and that certainly was. East Brunswick now to a 15-point bulge, 54-39.
This might be their biggest lead of the game.
I believe it is. This is Marston working against Wellen. Oldbridge is going to need to have to work for some shots and set some screens, and they haven't done much of that the whole game. This is Pando, who drives and draws the foul. That is East Brunswick's 4th. That's a blocking foul.
There was a sense of urgency with Pando going to the basket that time. They need points now.
4th foul on Matt Van Leeuwen for East Brunswick. 4:08 to play. And Old Bridge needs to set some screens, try to open things up for its shooters. And there's one right there, but Marston doesn't take it. He will launch the three, well short of the mark, not a good shot. And Trescott comes up with it, hands off to Whalen. Less than 4 minutes to play now. Trescott with a wide open three.
Wow, he is playing excellent tonight.
8 points now, his second three-pointer, and that was not 5 or 6 touches, but it was 3 points, and that is a pretty significant factor. Brown out of control, loses it, but they say it was off Rotter. And Kartzman checks back in for East Brunswick. 3:44 to play. Bears 57-39. Van Leeuwen sits down with 4 fouls, and it's possible he may spend the rest of this game on the bench if East Brunswick doesn't need him. And with an 18-point edge, that is very possible.
He's got to go here.
Marston, little flick pass behind him. No basket that time, and not a real smart pass by Marston either. That's a very low percentage pass.
Exactly. Well, he put himself in a very compromising position there because I think his intent was to go to the basket, found himself closed off, and tried to pass. All right,
that foul on John Rotter, right. That is his second personal foul.
5 team fouls for East Brunswick.
And Dave Van Gerud will check in for Rotter, who sits down with a team-high 12 points for East Brunswick. So Rotter having a big game. He's averaging just 6 points a game and has doubled his average tonight. This will be Brown looking to trigger it in. Gets it into Marston with a quick three. That's a good shot to take, but can't get it. And Kartzman with a board for East Brunswick. Bears with an 18-point lead, 3.5 to go. This is Whalen driving, drops it off to Van Gerud, and he gets the easy two. So now every East Brunswick player who has played has scored.
Well, they really like to push it, don't they?
Yeah, you're not kidding. Shaw with the easy two on the other end. He now has 5, and it's 59-41. So Bo Henning says 5 or 6 touches, and 3 out of the next 4 times down the floor. Quick baskets for East Brunswick. Down low, Kartzman wide open.
Oh.
Can't hit the layup, gets the tip, can't get it. Kartzman one more time, puts it back up, no good. 4 for a quarter, I think, on that play. Daly with a board. Marston wings it for Pando, and another low percentage pass by Pete Marston. A couple of substitutions now as John Caruso will check into the game, along with Justin Swanson. And Marston and Brown will take a seat. 2:55 to play. We'll see if those players check back in. East Brunswick with an 18-point lead. It's possible Rocky Knowles is putting up the white flag, but we'll see if Marston checks back in. Marston has made a couple of bad passes late in this game.
Well, sometimes those things happen because of fatigue.
And sometimes out of desperation as well. Marston knowing his team needs to score and trying to do a little bit too much. Kartzman working into the paint. And he finally buys the basket he was looking for before.
Well, he had too many men on him. That's why he made it.
And that was probably it. He now has 8. East Brunswick back to a 20-point edge, 2:24 to play. Spinning. Pando, turnaround J no good, but he'll go to the free throw line. And again, Glenn Pando scoreless in the second half after 9 first-half points. Tom Martin checks back in, along with Brad Caruso. Rich Whalen checks out with 6 points. Jim Kolakowski checks out with 8 points. And very balanced scoring for East Brunswick tonight as Glenn Pando goes to the free throw line.
I think that's the one thing you have to point out as far as East Brunswick. You know, Old Bridge, again, 3-1. This is a good team. And have a 20-point lead, now 19. And with Van Leeuwen only being, what, 9 points tonight?
That's right.
I think it just accentuates the fact that East Brunswick can go to more than one player.
Probably a big factor for a lot of players' confidence, knowing that if they need to step up, they could get it done. Van Gerud with the board for East Brunswick. Kartzman in the front court, 2:15 to play. Bears by 19, 61-42. Caruso, long range, no good. Van Gerud tips it around. Martin comes down with it. Martin with the ball, baseline, puts it right back up and in. So Tom Martin, he now has 6 points. And everybody getting in the action tonight for East Brunswick. Bears with a 63-42 edge, less than 2 minutes to go in this ball game. Shaw outside. Shaw puts up a shot, but drew the foul beforehand. 1:48 to play in this one. It's all over but the shouting. East Brunswick leading Old Bridge 63-42. Bears will remain undefeated and will go to 6-0. And substitutions now as some of the younger players coming on for Old Bridge. Ryan Cooper, number 4, and Corey Sandusky, number 22, come in. And the same can be said for East Brunswick, as some of the younger players will check in. As Shaw's at the free throw line in the 1-and-1, can't hit the first one, and Tresca comes down with it for East Brunswick. 1:45 to play. Tresca will slow it down, working against Cooper. Tresca holds up, Kartzman left side. East Brunswick now giving those 5-6 touches, but Tresca anxious to shoot it.
Wow.
And that is his third three-pointer of the game. He's got 11. Tresca, coming into the contest, had 2 3-pointers, and he has 3 tonight. East Brunswick 66-42. This is Daly. Comes cross court for Swanson. And a whistle on the play as Cooper was launching the shot. $1:14 to go. East Brunswick by 24. And we're going to see a lot of other substitutions as we wind down this one.
Pete, you mentioned the play of Mike Tresca, who's going to be leaving the game with 12 points, you said. I'll tell you what, he's shown me something with his outside shooting ability and his overall hustle. Somebody that East Brunswick couldn't rely on.
Boy, he really has shown an awful lot of hustle in this game and has played a dynamite game, working very hard both ends of the floor to get things done. As Shaw goes to the line in the 1-and-1, missed the front end last time, misses the front end this time as well. He's got 5 points, and East Brunswick with the ball. Some younger players getting an opportunity. This is Martin, and he is tied up by Swanson. And that will send Martin to the free throw line, as Olbridge has been over the limit for quite some time. John Henio back into the game with the high black socks. Like I said, hope there's a story to that. But there are certain players who like wearing the high socks. Donnell Lumpkin from Rutgers used to do it. Barnes Moten from Syracuse used to do it. Of course, those players are no longer playing basketball, so.
I think Lumpkin's brother is playing
at South Brunswick.
Right.
Martin's free throw is good.
Well, with this 25-point lead, certainly not indicative of the way this game has gone for a good portion of time. East Brunswick was able to move away in the 4th quarter, pull away, and but Olbridge hang tough for a while.
Well, when Pete Marston hit that 3/4 court shot at the buzzer at halftime, it made it a 2-point game, and it looked like things might be interesting in half number 2, but East Brunswick came out strong, played a solid but not spectacular 3rd period, and built a 13-point lead at the end of 3, and it looked like this game was still not over, and that Olbridge had an opportunity to battle back in it, but it was not to be, as Pete Marston and Glenn Pando both effectively shut down in the second half, and defense really king the victory. Defense not only in shutting down the 2 top players for Olbridge, but also in sparking the offense for the Bears and getting things going, getting some easy shots, and that really has been the difference in this game. East Brunswick's ability to get some easy shots.
Right, and I don't think you can understate the quality of this victory for East Brunswick this evening. The true measuring gauge, of course, is going to be when they do play teams such as Piscataway, St. Peter's, if they meet them in the GMCs. But still, East Brunswick has a lot of good chemistry working for it out there, and it'll be fun to watch this team this year.
And that's going to be it. East Brunswick coming up with a 67-44 victory. Bears playing tough in the second half. And with a 23-point win, so East Brunswick improves to 6-0, and Olbridge falls to 3-2 on the season.
Well, Pete, a rather nice game for the Bears. We mentioned that Olbridge would be a quality opponent for them, and for a while it looked like they would give East Brunswick a good run for their money. But good, even distribution of scoring from a lot of members of this team. Matt Van Leeuwen came into this game needing 21 points to reach 1,000, so he's partially there. I think he's going to have to wait till the next game in order to do that. But, boy, I'll tell you what, again, the chemistry of this team is really impressive, and they really do a very, very nice job. And like I said, it's going to be fun to watch them this year.
Let's quickly run down the scoring for East Brunswick. John Rotter finished high man with 12, including a 3-pointer. Mike Tresca, 11 points, including 3 threes. Matt Van Leeuwen with 9. He had a 3-pointer. 8 points for Jim Kolakowski, 7 for Tom Martin, 6 for Rich Wellen, 8 for Ben Kartzman. Don't want to leave him out. 4 for Brad Caruso, and a bucket for Dave Vanger. It's a very balanced scoring for Olbridge. 18 for Pete Marston, 10 for Glenn Pando, 9 9 of those in the first half, 5 apiece for Ryan Brown and Greg Shaw, and a bucket apiece for John Caruso, Justin Swanson, and Chris Zalski, the 6'6" player who did not play in half number 2 because of illness. So East Brunswick with a big victory. Bears again improving to 6-0. Good ball game for the Bears all the way around. And as you mentioned, Jimmy, some good opposition. That'll do it here. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pete Haskell along with Jimmy Allinder. Thanks for watching.